Doing good?
Yes, as
Okay.
always.
Good. Good. Okay, so our homework yesterday was, or last night was about fast fashion. And will you continue to buy from places like Zara and H&M because of their low prices? Or will you try and change your habits? So basically, we talked about fast fashion, and I want to know what you think. So,
Hmm.
as Tyr would say, ladies first. Would you like to read yours?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. I think fast fashion is really great for individual appearance. We can enjoy the fashion perfectly and affordably. However, it impacts our community, both environment and humanity. From the beginning process to the finished products are harmful environmentally. Textile, textile factories cause air pollution, and also the discarded clothes are turned into trash, which cause waste pollution. Nevertheless, the brand companies are getting richer for their turnovers. Meanwhile, the workers are struggling with working conditions and low paid wages. After learning this lesson, I'll change my perspective about clothes. I feel guilty for what I'm done. I can spend what I like to wear, but to think about the effects of the whole process, I would hesitate to buy more. Anyway, I'll do my best to determine the purchasing and allow myself to try some alternative for clothes consumptions.
Yeah, cool. Very good.
Thank you.
This shirt is used,
Go, go.
just so you know. This is a used shirt. I love it. It's very comfortable. I have no problem wearing it. Yeah. So I think also being in like the pandemic and having like not being able to go out kind of made me not care about clothes as much anymore,
Yes.
because a because I can't fit into most of my clothes anymore.
Are
And
you
then
serious?
So funny.
yeah, I've gained like 20 pounds at
Mm.
least during this. Yeah. I used to be in good shape. Yeah, so that's
Do you
that's a
like
whole
shopping?
I mean, me online I used to a lot, but like not as much now. I have been shopping a lot more lately, only because I don't really have a lot of really hot weather clothes, and
Mm.
I'll be in Thailand for during monsoon season, and I know it's like really hot. So
Yes.
yeah, I kind of bought some clothes lately, but that's about it. So, all right, Kamara.
Yeah, I do not know what to say about fashion.
Uh oh, your
Since
internet's.
I could say
Hey,
I
buddy,
am not a fashionable.
Kamara.
Like,
Shut. How about
sorry.
how about you shut your camera
Yep.
off and see if the internet gets better.
Okay.
All right, try talking.
Hello.
Yeah, much better. Can you?
Okay.
I mean, I want to see your face, but
So
no, don't
I
worry
read
about it.
again.
For the time, just can you start over?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can I read again?
Yes.
Okay. I do not know what to say about fashion since I could say I am not a fashionable man. But perhaps fashion is good for those liking new and nice style brand to polish their appearance. It's also benefit the business group like Zara and H&M, while the workers of this company are being unfairly treated by comparing their living wage and their organization's profit. We ask the environment has been harmed by this activity as well. For me, regarding the business and practice, we are living in the globalization era, and things need to be developed and innovate every day. So fashions could probably not stop, but we may need to change our life practice, including the reductions of utilizing fashion brands, finding way to avoid to promote and respect human rights through increasing living wage and conditions and others if possible.
Cool. Very good. I like how you threw in globalization. You know, that's cool. And by the way, I think you are a very fashionable man. So, but yeah, that's it's very good. Yeah, I do not know how I don't know how we can change the conditions. That's the problem. That is the main problem. I don't know how to change these conditions. I'm just bringing up the issues, you know.
Yeah, I just want to say it's very difficult for improving the condition, but
Hmm.
I think what we can do, not only in the US, but in the world and including Cambodia, we have many problems about living wage. I mean, the workers receive pay, lower pays, while the company receive a lot of billion or $1 million benefits.
Wow.
So
It's like
we are so sad in our country too about this. Yeah.
it's like you're going to be teaching my
And
lesson
you
today.
know, because I
This I think this is going to
and you know
this is going to be tying into my lesson.
in my countries,
In your country what?
hello,
Yeah, yeah. In your country what?
hello.
Kamira, why don't you log off and try logging back in? Okay?
I think my internet is problem.
Yeah, so get out of the room and come back in, okay?
Okay, okay.
All right, thank you. In the meantime, Kun, can you read yours? I'm interested to see what you have to say.
Yes, teacher. From my point of view, I think fashion is good because it's inexpensive and acceptable. What I mean is, if you are waiting for the original one, maybe many people can buy it due to its price. As you know, the price of an original sport jersey minimum is $30, but the price at an ordinary store is only $7 to $8. For instance, in my hometown, I have never seen any original store like Adidas, Nike, and so on. For me, I never care what brand I have to wear or buy. The most important thing is I love those clothes and it's necessary for me. If I love the clothes from Zara or H&M, I'll buy it.
Yeah. So we're split. We're split down the middle here. We you don't you just want to have the cheap clothes for right now. Hey, so what about this? So what will happen when you become a doctor and you make more money? Will you try to be will you stop buying from this company?
Yes, teacher. For me, yes, I have never cared about the fashion,
Okay.
and my most clothes is sport clothes.
Okay. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have and when I go to have a meeting or I go to the hospital,
Hmm.
I usually wear the uniform.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You wear your doctor's the whites, right? All white.
Yes,
Yeah.
But nowadays we have only PP clothes
Uh-huh. Because you
for
get a
COVID-19
yeah,
prevention.
because of COVID-19. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Very good. All right. How about V? Can you read Tears, if that's okay?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
In my opinion, fast fashion is neutral due to its pros and cons depending on the person's job. For
Hold on one
instance,
second. Hold on
oh,
one
he's
second.
coming. He's coming.
Just in time. He shows
Yes.
up just in
Kid,
time.
man.
Perfect.
Who talk behind me?
We were just
No one.
just reading yours. We
Oh.
were
The fashionable woman.
I'm sorry to cross the boundary. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. Ter, welcome to class.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
can you read your homework?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
In my opinion, fast and fashion is neutral due to the pros and cons depending on the person's job. For instance, the people who live in the capital need these because they can adapt to the society easier. Actually, I would buy the clothes at the ordinary shops because it can save my money or expense. But however, I would choose the best one if they are of good quality rather than good looking thing.
Yeah, so we're split down the middle here. We have we're like 2 and 2 kind of. You know, it's a very complicated issue. Fast fashion. Um, my my main concern about fast fashion are places like Bangladesh, where these monsters hire slaves and force them to work horrible conditions. That's my greatest fear. And a building actually collapsed in Bangladesh a couple years ago while making clothes for a company called Walmart in America. And Walmart denied all responsibility about it. I find that horrible and sickening. And, I don't go to Walmart. I will never go to Walmart. But I have in the past year gone to Zara, and seriously, if I'm moving to Thailand, I will probably shop at H&M to buy a couple shirts. I'm not positive yet, but only because I need clothes for teaching. So I'm not positive that I will, but it just depends because some clothes don't fit me anymore. So it's difficult. It is very difficult. So, but yeah, guys, very good job. I appreciate it. So today, here we go. Kamara, here you go. Here's your. We're gonna be talking about.
Wow, CEOs.
So, CEOs, who are they, and why do they make so much money? Just like what you were saying, like, they make a ton of money. So, does anybody know what CEO stands for?
Chief Executive Officers.
Whoa. Hello, genius. No wonder you passed that test. Wow. All right. Tyr, can you read this?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Chief, I think maybe the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me start. The Chief Executive Officer, CEO, is the highest ranking executive in the company, whose primary responsibilities include making major corporate decisions, managing the overall operations and resource of the company, acting as the main points of the communications between the board of directors and corporate operations, and being the public face of the company. The CEO is elected by the board and its shareholders.
Awesome. Very good. Hey, Kamir, if you wanted to shut off your camera for class, that's fine. So you could get a better internet connection. That's okay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so we learned about the stock market, right?
We did.
So basically, um, the CEO, so whoever has, so I'm pretty sure the board of directors are the people who pretty much own the stock, a majority of the stock. So if somebody owns like a majority of the stock, they own a majority of the company, and they get to hire a CEO. And CEO is from the board of directors. They is hired by the board of directors and the shareholders. So each part has a say of who gets hired as a CEO. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
Yes.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute. You can carry on your teaching.
Okay.
I'll be back. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So, Kun, would you read this?
Yes, teacher. CEO's role in a company. CEO role varies from one company to another depending on the company's size, culture, and corporate structure. In large corporations, CEOs typically deal only with very high-level strategy decisions and those that direct the company's overall growth. In smaller companies, CEOs often are more hands-on and involved with day-to-day functions. CEOs can set the tones, visions, and sometimes the culture of their organizations.
Yeah. So, CEO roles do vary from one company to another. I think almost in larger companies, CEOs are looked at are almost like cheerleaders or motivational speakers. They do make decisions, but a lot of times they give speeches and whatnot. Whereas in small companies, they're more hands on, and they might work at a desk in an office, in a small office. Um, but CEOs can also, I call them cheerleaders because they do set the mood and the culture of what a company is. So, yeah. Okay, guys. So, here are some of the top paid American CEOs. What do you notice?
Months? Is it
Yeah.
months?
What did you say, Kamar?
We can't hear you, brother.
Yeah. Hello. Why don't you try restarting computer and come back? Kamar.
Lorry Calf. Is it per month for
Oh. I hear you now.
22,000?
This is per year.
Okay.
This is per year. So General Electric gets 72
Fine,
million.
yeah,
But this is their increase.
per year.
This is what their increase was.
Oh, it's
200%, which is insane.
ah,
Look at this guy.
Hmm.
353%. It's
it's
unbelievable.
7 million, right?
It's what? It sounds like
Sorry,
you're,
I need to find per less.
How about this? How about I'm gonna stop class and then we relog in to this, and maybe Kamira might have some better internet. Okay,
Yes,
Yes.
teacher.
and then we'll continue. All right. So our boy Larry right here, he made 72 million seven. I'm just gonna put in 72 million, just to round it. So 72 million. So like he probably
Is
made
it better now?
Yep, better. So he made probably
Okay.
like less than 36 million last year. You know, poor guy. You know, poor guy. He didn't make that much. He only made $36 million. But then this year he made over 72 million. So yeah, look how happy he is. It's a disgrace. So I actually found this chart pretty interesting. So the CEO, the pay of the CEO is in blue, and then the typical worker is in red. So this is from
Wow.
1978. Whoops. Darn it. So this is from. Can you see the screen?
No, teacher.
No?
No.
Yes, see.
Yes.
Now you can.
No.
Yes, but the internet still slow.
No. It's me. It's me. Let me go back. No. Okay.
You
Better.
please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yep.
the workers' pay is in red, and the CEO's pay is in blue. This is the past 42 years, or no, it's not 42 years because it's 2014. So since 1978. So it's I don't know, 30 something years. So what do you notice?
The worker never increase. Never increase.
What was that?
Just, I mean, paying for worker is never increase,
Yeah.
but the pay is always increase.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
It actually increased a little bit right here, but not almost none. So why did it decrease right here?
maybe
Recession.
I think it's world crisis.
Yeah.
World financial crisis.
The financial collapse.
Yes, in the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. What about right
2009.
here? What about right here?
It's the
What
It's
might
the
have caused this?
it's the building
9/11.
tax.
9/11.
Yes, 9/11. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so you have 9/11, everything dropped, and then the global market collapse, the financial crisis with banks in 2008.
Mhm.
So, every time, I've noticed there in the last, 30, 40 years, every time it starts getting a little high, something happens to bring it down. And you know what? We could probably, if we, it's probably up to here right now, but we'll see what happens. All right. So here's another chart right here. So basically, according to each country's, this is what the CEO to workers price per year is right here. So let's go United States at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't in any order. It's just, I think it's just,
Alphabet.
yeah, it's
alphabet.
alphabet. Yeah. So United States, the average CEO makes 12.2 million a year, whereas the average worker makes 34.6 thousand a year. That's pretty horrendous. And we're the worst, by the way. We have the biggest gap in pay. If you noticed, no one makes more than 7,000 or 7 million. No CEO makes from Switzerland. They have 7. They make 7 million, right?
Yeah.
And that's the highest. But the workers make 50,000. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean it's really so. What they did is they put what the ideal ratio is to workers to from CEOs to workers. So the ideal ratio is that CEOs should really make about 8.3 times more. Or we should go, you know what, let's go to the United States right here. So average CEO makes 354 times more than the average worker. So it's 354 times the average worker. So take the salary and times it by 354, I guess. But in all actuality, the American workers are probably only the CEO should only make about 6.7 times more, and that would come out to the worker making $1.8 million a year. The average worker should make. Oh God, how wonderful that would be. That would be crazy. So, all right, I found this chart really insane. So, yeah. So anyway, okay. Average CEO or CEO salary facts. Who'd like to read first?
Me?
Okay.
CEO pay has increased 1,008% between 1988 and 2018, while typically pay has aged up 12%.
Yeah. So worker pay is only going up 12%, but CEO's pay is going up.
1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. It's ridiculous. All right. Who would like to read next?
I will.
Okay.
In 2018, CEOs in the country's top 350 businesses were paid 17.2 million US dollar on average.
Yeah. 17.2 million. Oh God.
The poor man.
It's crazy. This making this kind of drove me crazy. I was like, oh God. We could end if we took the money that the richest men make in the world and just distributed it. I think there would be less issues. Or not, and not even saying taking all their money, but like just if we just distributed it fairly, the world would be so much better. So, okay, next. Kun.
Yes, teacher. Employees working in those industries, ranging from retail to technologies and manufacturing, typically earn $64,500.
Yeah, this is retail technology, and by the way, these are mainly the reason why this is so large is because of technology. Because the average tech probably makes about 80, I would say, something like that, $80,000 a year. Retail is on the low end, and then manufacturing is somewhere in the middle. Okay, next, Tier.
Yeah. During the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, a majority of the CEOs' average salary increased.
Yeah. So somebody like, do you know who Jeff Bezos is?
Amazon owners,
Yeah,
CEO.
he owns Amazon. So his salary actually increased during the pandemic. So while people were getting laid off and the economy was doing really bad, his salary went up. And a lot of people find that very disturbing. But on the other hand, his company was based on delivering, so you don't have to go outside. So, I think that, there's good and bad to this. So, okay, so I'm gonna plug this. 10 minutes. All right, ready? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you
That's
earn
not the video.
unlimited double miles everywhere.
Let me just get this over with. He's not a good actress. Sorry.
1929, the American stock.
There we go.
On October 24th, 1929, the American stock market crashed.
The New York Stock Exchange is in a panic. Frantic investors have scrambled to unload their stocks at any price.
Fortunes disappeared overnight, and the value of American companies tanked. But the people in charge of those companies had an idea. They started buying shares of their own company stock from investors, which meant that there were fewer stocks out there for other people to buy. And when there's less of something, the price goes up. Normally, to raise their stock prices, these companies would have had to do something to get investors excited, invent a new product or a different way of doing things. But with this, corporations had discovered a kind of magic trick. They could jack up their stock price without really doing anything. This is a stock buyback, an attempt by the owners of America's biggest corporations to hang on to their wealth while the rest of the country suffered the worst depression ever. This practice helped fundamentally reshape the American economy, and it set the stage for a century-long fight we're still having.
It was a choice, and it was about greed. Someone has forgotten about the human element.
A fight about where American wealth comes from and who should get to keep it.
You could have saved these jobs, but you chose not to.
In 1932, the New York Times reported on the many abuses that were alleged among companies doing this new stock buyback thing. Abuses like using the corporation's funds to buy shares from directors, officers, and other persons friendly to the management, also known as insider trading. The president signed a new law to make them stop, the Securities and Exchange Act of 1934. It cracked down on manipulation and insider trading, and corporations took this to mean that their buyback days were over. They pretty much stopped doing them. And without buybacks for an option, corporations basically had three choices for what to do with their profits. Option 1, reinvest them back in the company. Build new factories, create new products. Option 2, raise wages for employees. Option 3, issue a dividend and hand the profits over to investors. Most American companies did a mix of all three, with the bulk of profits going towards reinvestment and wages. Over time, technology improved and workers made more stuff. The productivity of American workers nearly doubled in the 30 years after World War II, and so did hourly wages. This helped build the American middle class. But things didn't stay that way. Productivity kept rising, but wages flatlined. A new political and economic philosophy had taken hold.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
When Ronald Reagan was elected, The Securities and Exchange Act had successfully been scaring companies away from doing buybacks for 50 years. But that changed after Reagan appointed a former investment banker named John Shad to the top enforcement job. He wanted companies to put less of their profits into reinvestment in wages. He thought more should go to investors. So in 1982, he changed the rules. For the first time since the 1930s, companies could buy back shares of their own stock from investors, and they didn't have to worry about the government coming after them. Buybacks were back. It was a really good time to be an investor. Investors wanted to keep that money flowing, so they changed the way that CEOs got paid. Instead of just earning a salary, CEOs could get a bonus if the company's stock price went up. The quickest way to raise the stock price was to do a buyback. So CEOs started doing them all the time. In 1982, the biggest American companies spent less than 1% of their profits on stock buybacks. By 2008, just before the recession, that share had jumped to 77%. Fast forward to today, and companies are spending 65% of their profits buying back shares of their own stock. The pay gap between American CEOs and their workers has grown from 15-1 to 220-1 in less than a single lifetime. You can see what a uniquely American phenomenon this is when you compare the compensation for General Motors CEO with her counterparts at Volkswagen in Germany and Toyota in Japan. And you can see part of the reason for this gap when you look at how much of their profits these three companies spend on buybacks. Volkswagen hasn't done any since 2012. And Toyota's biggest buyback years are roughly the size of GM's smallest. The more of their profits GM gave to executives and shareholders, the less was left over for reinvestment and for workers.
Amazon Halo is a membership that helps you take activity tracking a step further. Improve your sleep.
So is everybody understanding this so far?
I still have some point that I'm not clear.
So basically what is going on so far is that because the
Sorry,
government...
because my internet difficulty.
Okay, no problem. But basically what is going on...
Didn't catch the point, actually.
All right. Well, I'll explain. I'll explain after this, okay?
Yes.
Then GM had the largest market share of any automaker in the world. By 2017, it had fallen to number 4. And as its market share shrank, GM shuttered plants across the US, and tens of thousands of workers lost their jobs. For decades, this General Motors plant in Lordstown, Ohio, was the biggest employer in the county. It opened in the 1960s, and it started out making big sedans and muscle cars. But when people's preferences changed or one model was discontinued, GM would retool the plant for a different kind of car. But in 2015, GM promised investors another massive stock buyback. To cut costs, they started eliminating shifts at the Lordstown plant.
Another cutback. The second shift will be dropped in 2 months.
Where am I going to go? Everybody's got to find a place now.
It is the end of the line for the General Motors plant in Lordstown, Ohio.
The cuts come as the automaker is reporting a near record $12 billion profit last year.
A few months after the GM plant closed down, the local supplier that built the rear suspensions went out of business. Same with the local factory that built the seats. Plans for a new hospital building in town were put on hold. As paychecks dried up, a local restaurant closed its doors. Economists call it the multiplier effect. One study predicted that every 4 jobs lost at GM's Lordstown plant would trigger 3 more job losses among suppliers and other local businesses. That's why laid-off auto workers aren't the only ones in Lordstown who understand the effects of GM's choices. So do teachers.
There were some students who just changed tremendously. This is all tremendous upheaval for them.
When you look around, you drive around our town, there's a lot of farming, but General Motors is pretty much the town. There was a time where the budget was made up mostly of General Motors. We lose that revenue from General Motors, that's going to be really tough for us.
I hesitate to use the word traumatic, but it is. Because when something like this sudden happens, it rocks your world.
A year before GM shut down the Lordstown plant, President Trump and Republicans in Congress lowered the corporate tax rate from 37% to 21%. Those who supported the cuts predicted that corporations would reinvest those tax savings and that workers would benefit the most.
The vast majority of businesses are going to do just what we say: reinvest in their workers, reinvest in their factories, pay people more money.
When our businesses pay less in tax.
So guys, basically what is going on is that the CEOs, because of deregulation from Ronald Reagan, the CEOs were allowed to, instead of reinvest their money in the company, they were allowed to like take the money. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So because they did not reinvest the money, they closed down. A lot of things were closed down, and a lot of people lost jobs. And another outcome of that is that the middle class in America is going away, or is almost gone, because of CEOs, and well, because of Ronald Reagan's policies in the 80s. So that's basically what I wanted to show you guys. It's a long video and it's a little complicated, so I do apologize. So basically, for your homework, I wanted to talk about what's going on right now. So the CEOs in the UK are currently getting something called a moral bonus. So this means that they get money for doing the right thing. A lot of companies in the UK are trying this out because they don't want things to get as bad as American CEOs. So what is a moral bonus and what is the right thing? The right thing means being environmentally responsible, giving fair pay to workers, and creating a safe work environment. So do you feel that these CEOs should get a moral bonus for doing the right thing for their companies and their work environment? So yeah, that's going to be your homework. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So, oh, he's back. Hey,
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, guys. So was this too complicated, or I'm just trying to get a grasp on what you guys think so far of this.
I don't think it's complicated.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like to see how criminals behave, and I feel like a lot of this is criminal activity. So I like to explain it, and then also because people want to know like what is America like, and yeah, this is what America's like, So what about brothers? What do you think? Did you understand?
For me, moral.
Come here, your internet's just not doing it today. I'm sorry, buddy.
You word for me? May you elaborate more? Do you hear me?
No. How about, can you text it to me? Can you send it to message?
I write in the chat box.
Yeah. Okay. He's gonna write in the chat box. How about Tara and Kun? Was this too much? Too little? What do you think?
This lesson is a bit complicated for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
but,
yeah.
Okay, carry on.
No, you go. I'm sorry.
No, I'm already finished.
Okay. Yeah, so basically what this lesson is talking about is basically we're talking about how CEOs make so much money, and basically saying, do they deserve all that money when people are barely making any money in all these countries, in all these countries, you know? So that's the main point of the lesson. But for the homework, I just wanted to say, I just wanted to talk about CEO bonuses. So at the end of the year, CEOs get a bonus, okay, for doing good. So now the United Kingdom is creating something called the moral bonus. So that means that instead of treating the workers bad and polluting the environment, they will get a bonus for being environmentally responsible, giving fair pay to workers, and creating a safe work environment. So basically what I'm asking for homework is, do you really, I mean, is there really a need for a moral work bonus? Shouldn't people be doing the right thing anyway?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, the motivations of the CEO were.
Yeah. Everybody has different motivations, I understand, but I just don't understand what they're thinking. How about Kun, what do you think?
Yes, teacher, I think moral bonus maybe it's good for the CEOs, and for me, I think maybe it's not the bad thing to do with the CEO because they have a high salary and they have to responsible and to do something good without thinking about the bonus. So I think it is humanity if they have a responsible without thinking about moral bonus. And there are many different motivations, and I think money is not the best way to motivate.
Yeah, so I'm somewhere in the middle on this. I don't know how to think. I actually heard this a moral bonus on the news last week on National Public Radio. So I wanted to ask. So come here. Besides serving his or her company and environment, and also good for creating jobs and businesses, shareholders. Yeah, he's basically so Kamara is asking, are moral bonuses good? And that's for you to tell me. I mean, are they good? Do people need a bonus to do the right thing? Should people receive money just for doing the right thing, or are we so out of control at this point that we need to pay people for doing the right thing? It's kind of one of those things where I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But I really would like to hear what you guys think about it in writing for homework, if that's okay. So I will actually post this video as soon as class is over. So you will have a whole weekend if you want to review and look over it again. So, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a message, okay? And I'll try and help you guys out, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So have a good weekend, and I will see everybody on Tuesday, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Goodbye, teachers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.